Welcome geniuses, I'm Genie, your best buddy for A-levels. In this channel, we'll bring you to explore the secret formula behind success.
So this is the questions for May-June 2014, Variance 6.1, question 3. So part 1, state 3 conditions which must be satisfied for a situation to be modeled by a binomial distribution, and 2 marks are given. Okay, so what are the conditions? N repeated independent trial. Okay, second, constant probability. Okay, so state 3. Okay, then what else? Only 2 possible outcomes. And then one more, right? If you remember, there will be fixed number of trials, independent trials. All right, so state any 3 of the 4 here for you to get the 2 marks. So now we answer the following part. George wants to invest some of his monthly salary. He invests a certain amount of this every month for 18 months. For each month, there is a probability of 0.25 that he will buy shares in a large company. There is a probability of 0.15 that he will buy shares in a small company. And there is a probability of 0.6 that he will invest in a saving account. Okay. Find the probability that George will buy shares in a small company, right? It's a small company in at least 3 of these 18 months. So first, you must define what the variable is. So number of months that George invests or buy shares in a small company, right? So is X follows a binomial distribution? Yes. Why? That first thing, there is a fixed independent trials, 18 months. And second, there is a constant probability that given by the questions, 0.15, right? He will buy shares in a small company. So the probability that we want is 0.15, right? Don't get confused by the 0.25 and 0.6. So those are not what the question wants. The question wants the probability that he buys shares in small company, and the probability is 0.15. Okay, so the probability we want to determine is at least 3 of these 18 months, at least 3. So greater and equals to 3. See, this is similar to my example just now. At least 3 means what? We are going to find the probability that either exactly 3 months out of 18, he buys in the small company, or 4 months, or until 18, right? So can you see that you're going to use the formula to find probability more than 6 times? So in situation like this, what will we do? We will try to take 1 minus probability that X less than 3. Okay, so less than 3 means we just have to find the probability of X is 0, 1, and 2. So by using this way, you just need to use the binomial distribution formula 3 times. Okay, so now I'm going to write down the formula. So when the x equals to 0, so 18 C0, 0.15, 0.85 to power of 18. Okay, so now we can use calculator. So again, 18C0 is going to be 1. 0.15 to power 0 is also going to be 1. So we can straight away take 0.85 to power of 18 plus with 18C1 times 0.15 times 0.85 to power of 17 plus 18C2 0.15 squared times 0.85 to power 16. Right? So this one will give me the probability to be 0.4796. 966. So it's going to be 0.4797. Okay, then we take 1 minus it, 0.5203. So round off to 3SF, 0.520. 3SF. Right? So we found the answer for part 2. Okay, now we are looking at the next questions. Okay, so this is from May, June 2002. That time is just paper 6. And then question 7. So a garden shop sells polyanthrous plants in boxes, each box containing the same number of plants. So the number of plants per box which produce yellow flowers has a binomial distribution with mean 11 and variance 4.95. All right. So you can see that the question is telling you this is a binomial distribution. So what is the binomial distribution? So number of plants that produce yellow flower. Okay, and it follows a binomial distributions n and p. Both n and p are not known, but you are given the information that the mean is 11. So since we know this is a binomial distribution, we know that the formula for binomial distribution to find mean is MP. Hence, MP equals to 11, right? That gives you first equation. And the variant is NP and 1 minus P. It's the variant formula and is equals to 4.95. And you get the second equations. Okay, so we're trying to solve this simultaneously. So which is like this, 1 sub into the second equation. So can you see MP is equals to 11? So now the MP will be replaced as 11. Right? Then 1 minus P equals to 4.95. So we solve this equation, we should be able to get the value of P. 4.95 divided by 11, 0.45. One minus P equals to 0.45 and minus 1. So finally, P equals to 0.55. Okay, so find the number of plants per box. So once we get the P, we can come back to, from the first equation, we can find out the N. So N times 0.55 equals to 11. Okay, so the N is given as 11 over 0.55, which is 20. So we managed to determine the number of plants per box is 20. All right, by using the mean and variance formula and solving them simultaneously. Okay, part A found. Now we move on to find probability for part B. The probability that a box contains exactly 12 plants which produce yellow flowers. So now we already have the N 20 and the P 0.55. And we are trying to find probability that exactly 12, X equals to 12. So we have the formula 20C12, 0.55 to power of 12, and 0.45, right? 1 minus P to power of 8. N minus R. 20 minus 12, yeah, it's 8. All right, so we press calculator, 20C12 times 0.55 to power of 12 times 0.45 to power of 8. So the probability is 0.1623. So 3SF 0.162. And that is the probability that in a box of 20 plants, exactly 12 plants produce yellow flowers. Okay, so the probability is 0.162. Now, we look at the next questions. So question 3 is a question from October, November 15, variance 6.1, question 1. All right, so please try to answer these questions. I'll put the answer in the comment below. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video. I will see you in the next lesson. That's it for now. Bye-bye.
That's all for today's video. If you're interested in more genuine sharing by other geniuses, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell, ding dong. Also, if you're struggling with 1 or 2 past year questions and the mark scheme just doesn't seem to help, Genie has got you covered. Feel free to let us know what question it is by filling in the Google form linked in the description below. GenieUs Hub will get genius teachers to fulfill your request for the solution. Genie will see you next time. Bye-bye.